They're not very good. I do like their coaching hires. I think that was really smart of JJ Redick to hire two guys with some experience. I think that will be helpful to him. Uh, I'm not sure that will be reflected in their record because they just haven't done anything in the offseason.
Greetings and salutations, and welcome to the Odd Coaches Podcast. I am your host, Dr. Keith Adams, and with us today on this Wind Up Wednesday episode, our favorite administrator, Robert Abney. Robert, thank you for providing levity as we talk NBA free agency. How are you, sir?
I'm living the dream in Central Texas. It's warm, football season is coming, but we got free agency stuff to talk about.
All right, an academic and athletic consultant for the CK Save Project, George Acker. George, what's going on? And yes, we will talk about the purple and gold today. How are you?
I'm good, man. Blessed to be here.
All right, in segment one, we will talk about the Western Conference because they got a lot of ballers there. Segment two, we'll talk about the Eastern Conference, and we might have four good teams finally. And in segment three, everything with the WNBA news notes and even a little Olympic talk. But first, sorry, Robert, the Los Angeles Lakers. Okay. A lot of people said no to the Lakers in recent weeks. The Lakers did hire Scott Brooks and Nate McMillan as assistants, which are good hires. Brooks helped Chauncey Billups the last couple of years, and Nate McMillan was wrongfully fired from the Hawks, but whatever. And they also have the 55th pick in the draft, playing summer league games. So, Robert, take the Lakers off season in any direction you want, or no direction, because they're not very good.
They're not very good. I do like their coaching hires. I think that was really smart of JJ Redick to hire two guys with some experience. I think that will be helpful to him. I'm not sure that will be reflected in their record because they just haven't done anything in the offseason. And I think it's been well chronicled. Bronny played his first summer league game. He athletically is fine. But he's 6'1" and he doesn't shoot the ball well, and it's going to be hard to justify putting him on the floor if he can't do that, because if you're 6'1", you better be able to shoot it.
All right, George. Lakers thoughts before we move on, sir.
Real question. Because we sit and we go back and forth and talk about the Lakers and stuff. What is going on in LA? And I say that to reference why LA, nobody wants to go there. It used to be the hot spot that you could always find guys wanting to get to. They never had a problem signing free agents. It was all that. But look at the list of people that said no to the Lakers this year. I mean, and you can run down the list. I mean, okay, yeah, they tried to say that Clay said no because of the taxes in LA, this, that, and the other, but there was more to it than that. And then they lost out on every big free agent this year. So,
I mean, DeMar DeRozan picked the Clippers.
Yeah,
not the Clippers, the Kings.
The Kings. He went to Sacramento instead of going to LA. Sacramento. There's nothing out there but the capital. So I really. That really has me questioning what the hell is going on in LA. That's my big question right now, because nobody wants to be there.
Yes, and just to get Coach Adams' rant out of the way, please don't analyze summer league games for anything other than let's try some stuff. Let's get some film. Let's let you know what you need to work on. But don't give me stats. Don't give me anything. We're just playing games, and then we're gonna build up, because nobody's life goal is to win summer league. It's to win the NBA championship. With that, George, I'm gonna stick with you. The Clippers lost Paul George to Philly. They got James Harden back. Congratulations, I think. What do you think about the Clippers' moves this offseason?
It took it. They haven't done much. They haven't done anything to improve the team. I look for them to take a step back this year. I don't see them as a danger or or being able to compete for one of the top slots or a championship this year. Losing Paul George because he was the only one that stayed healthy most of the time out of the three. The rest of them were made of glass. It's a bad situation for the Clippers because they had a run for about 2 or 3 years where you thought they could be, but then somebody always got hurt, usually Kawhi. And now they're down to Kawhi and no show Harden. So it's a bad situation for them out there.
All right, Robert, Dallas. It's official. They got Klay Thompson. Klay Thompson gets a fresh start. What do you think about that move for the Dallas Mavericks?
Well, I mean, offensively, it's great because the guy can still shoot it. He never could guard anybody, and now he guards even less because that was never a strong suit. So from a defensive perspective, it didn't help them at all. And losing Derek Jones Jr., that's not going to help them either. So I don't know how they're going to guard anybody, but man, they're going to be fun to watch because they're going to be able to score.
All right, I'm going to stay with you, Robert. Denver lost Contavious Caldwell-Pope, and that definitely is a loss, and that moves them down a tier. How far down will Denver go? Will they still be top 3, or will they be 4, 5, and 6?
I think they're probably going to wind up dropping a little bit, 4, 5, and 6. That sounds about right. That they're still pretty good. They're still gonna and with Jokic there, Jokic makes guys around him better, but they lost, losing the guys they've lost over the past couple years, it takes a toll, and they're going to be a little down, I think.
All right, George, I'm going to you for Golden State. Buddy Hield is on the way. No Klay Thompson, trading him pretty much for Buddy Hield. What do you think about Golden State, sir?
It's gonna be an interesting situation with them. Buddy Hield gives you your little your 3-point shooter back, but Buddy couldn't guard a shadow, and Buddy getting somebody off the dribble is a tough situation. So it's going to be an interesting year in there because I'm still looking at their roster and seeing who's on it and seeing where Steph gets help, and I don't see it. So I can see them in the same position they were this year, fighting for that 7, 8, 9 slot and being in the playoff game again and seeing if they could get into the playoffs. So I think losing Klay, getting Buddy Hield was an even swap. I don't think there too much changes right there. So it'll be interesting.
Okay, Robert, OKC got better. How much better did they get? Because they were the number 1 seed. Did they get better enough to now win the West instead of just being the number 1 seed and making it far?
I think they did. I think getting Caruso and Isaiah Hartenstein, I think those two guys are going to help them defensively. I think it's going to make them a little bit tougher, which I think they probably lacked just a little bit. I like Chet Holmgren around the rim, but I mean, he's 7 foot, 210 pounds. I don't know. He's awfully thin. And he was susceptible to bully ball. Hartenstein will be less so.
Okay. George, I'm going to stay with you. I'm going to go to you. Sacramento has a big 3 now. You've got Sabonis, you got Fox, and now you got a 35-year-old DeMar DeRozan. Where does that put Sacramento? Top 6 or play-in? What do you think?
Oh, I definitely put them in the top 6 right now. I think with that, you got with DeRozan there, they had no veteran. You had a bunch of young boys out there just balling and doing whatever. You could tell by their record. They go with the ebb and flow. So he should be some stability. And plus, I don't think DeMar DeRozan has ever missed a mid-range jumper in his life. So that's going to do nothing but help Fox and Sabonis out. So yeah, I got him top 6. I love Sacramento.
All right, I'm gonna stay with you, George. New Orleans picked up the Murray kid from Atlanta. I don't know what Atlanta's doing, but where does that put New Orleans if Zion stays healthy? And Robert's laughing probably at me because I keep saying the same thing every year. When Zion plays, they're in the top 6. You cannot argue that. But how many games is he going to play? What do you think about New Orleans, sir?
I'm with Robert. I mean, you keep Zion out of strip clubs and away from McDonald's, and he is that team is on pace to be top 5, man. I mean, they are. They're young. They can run. There's nothing they can't do defensive wise every once in a while, but there's nothing they can't do not to be a contender. But then again, you got to keep Zion out of certain situations. So I think by picking up Murray, it helps him out. It's another score from the perimeter. But as long as Ingram and Zion stay mentally there, and you keep Zion out of certain after hours places and etouffee out of in front of them, they're tough. They're tough out, man. They are a tough out.
All right, we'll close with you, Robert. San Antonio got the old head. Chris Paul is there to whisper to Wemby, and they made some other moves. What do you think? You're in the heart of San Antonio Spurs country. What do you think?
See, I on our text group, I actually think it was George who's like, he didn't like it. And I do. I think having an old head there is going to help. They're still not going to be very good. I think that CP probably comes to San Antonio knowing they're not going to be very good. But if Pop talked him into coming and said, "Hey, I need you, come help me coach this young buck up," I think it could be a really good situation. And I think CP also helps Stephon Castile, their new guy, the kid they just drafted. I think it's a good pick, and I think it'll pick up, and I think it'll help them.
George, what do you think? Go ahead.
There you go.
My big thing is, and this is what I was pointing out. He's never been, no team he's been on has ever won anything, and he's been divisive everywhere he's been. Do I want that implant into my young guys? I mean, yeah, he can get them, talk to them, tell them how to win a couple regular season games, how to prepare themselves, this, that, and the other, the stuff that he's learned from LeBron or whatever. But he's not getting my kids ready for battle in the playoffs or how to get to the playoffs. I don't want him talking to him about prep for playoffs or anything like that, because CP winds up getting hurt every time they get to playoffs anyway. When the chips get down, CP disappears. So it just is. He's been just a divisive now. Maybe he might be the old man on the bench, a second coach that these kids need. Maybe he does, and I'm not going to go against Pop's judgment because Pop's got a track record, and if it's not going good, I know Pop will take care of it. But pickup was just shaky to me. He's not bringing enough to the table for me to do or to want him there with that young group of kids. And that's just me. So
All right. So in segment 2, we'll go to the Eastern Conference, and we'll have our conversations about the random moves that they made. Veterans Conference better. We'll be right back on the iCoaches Podcast.
Why should student athletes use the CKA Save Project academic and athletic consulting services? Over the past 15 to 20 years, colleges, universities, professional sports teams, business organizations, and others have increased their use of consulting services to improve their decision-making processes and results. Over the same time, the athletic and academic landscape has changed for high school and college student athletes as the NCAA has raised initial academic eligibility requirements for student athletes while decreasing the number of transfer restrictions. Former college student athletes have noted that they were academic and athletically unprepared for the rigors of college. Let the CKA SAVE Project's close to 30 years of academic and athletic experience help guide student athletes to increase success as we work to help student athletes achieve the goal of obtaining a college degree. For more information, contact Dr. Keith Adams by email at cka@ckasaveproject.org.
Welcome back to the Odd Coaches Podcast in segment 2. Let's talk about the Eastern Conference. Seems to be a little bit of a gap talent-wise. George, I'm going to start with you. Boston. Tatum got his money. That's about it. What do you think? Anybody in their way?
If you look at them, they got to be the favorite again. Boston's got another year with this group before things get a little dicey with contracts and money-wise. So, yeah, I mean, they got to be the favorites, period.
Yeah. All right. So now that we've got that in-depth analysis out of the way, Robert, Philadelphia got playoff Pete, baby. So now you've got Joel Embiid, Tyrese Maxey, and Paul George. Is that enough to tease maybe a non-Celtics dynasty?
No, I just, and the main reason it's not talent. I think they're talented enough that they could give the Celtics some problems. I just don't think they can stay healthy. I don't think Embiid can stay healthy. I don't think Paul George can stay healthy. And if one of the two of them goes down, I mean, basically it's over. So I talent-wise, yes, but other than that, I just don't see that. I just don't see that it's enough.
I'm going to dig in with the Sixers a little more with you, sir. They got Eric Gordon, they got Andre Drummond, and they re-signed Wizard extraordinaire Kelly Oubre. Is that enough to put them over the hump? I'm trying to get the Sixers going. Talk me out of it.
No, and I tell you, I'm telling you, like, I don't like the matchup. When I say matchup, you're talking about against Boston. I don't like the matchup, and it's that those two wings they have. I can't. They have no. They can have Paul George out there with one of them, but they got nobody to match up with the other one. If you go Holiday against Maxey, he's gonna get bully balled. So I don't. When it comes to the Sixers, I don't like the matchup, and no, I don't think that's enough to get over the hump with the Celtics.
All right, George, I'm gonna stay with you with the Knicks. They're trying to talk us into thinking the Knicks are good, and this is not a slight. This is not, as we like to say, Robert. This is a no bum conversation. But the Knicks, in terms of what you just mentioned with matchups. Talk to me, George. Am I being too hard on the Knicks? Or
no,
what do you think, man?
No, you're not. What did they think that they were going to catch magic in a bottle by putting the Villanova team back together again? Is that what that was? And Robert, what do I always say? You can't win when you got who on the team?
Julius Randle.
Yes. So I don't see the Knicks. To me, the Knicks didn't get any better. You bring in Bridges. Yeah, everybody feels good. You got all the Villanova crew back together, but they're not in Philly anymore. They're in New York. They did not bring in a big piece to move the needle. That to me, that's where it was, to move the needle, to keep them from being an okay team in the West to a contender. And I don't think they did enough to do that.
Robert, convince me or otherwise. Am I being too hard on the Knicks? Because they're very excited about a team that I think is very pedestrian.
No, I agree with you. I just, like George said, they still have Julius Randle. He's still around. Till they do something with him. I mean, it isn't going to matter. Excuse me. I love Jalen Brunson. I love the way he plays, but I don't see that there's enough here to get them past.
They're a 45 to 50 win team.
I don't think they're better than the Sixers. I'm not convinced they're better than the Pacers and the Cavs, even.
Yeah. All right. I'll stay with you, Robert, talking about Orlando. They did get Contavious Caldwell Pope. They extended Jonathan Isaac. Banchero had a great rookie year. What are we thinking about the Magic? Are they top 6 or are they 7 through 10?
No, I think they're still play-in territory. I think that they will. I think they'll make the play-in, but I don't think that KCP is a nice piece. I don't think that he makes a difference and gets them into the top 6, though.
All right, George, what are the Hawks doing?
Fire sale. they're having, when you drive through the neighborhood, you see that sign every once in a while, estate sale, everything gotta go. And that's basically what's happening. I mean, they need, at this point in time, Atlanta, just get rid of Ice Tray and start over, because that's what you're doing. You're starting over, but you're keeping him held hostage right now. And it's bad in Atlanta. It is just bad in Atlanta right now. So there's nobody down there to share the lemon pepper spice wings at the club. So with Lou, so they're gonna have to do something different now. They're gonna have to do something different.
I'm gonna run to Cleveland with Robert. Spider Mitchell staying, Robert, in Cleveland. Signed a 3-year, $150 million deal. Where does this put Cleveland? Are they top 6 or are they 7 through 10?
No, I think they're in the East. They're top 6 because I think we've established that we don't think a whole lot of the East as a whole. So I think they're still top 6. I was surprised that he stayed. I didn't feel like that was a place for him. But hey, you know what? If he signed a contract, he wants to be there. Great, roll with it.
We were surprised he signed that contract in all of New York City.
All right, George, close us out with the Nets. It looks like they're openly saying, we don't think we're very good right now, so wait to see us tomorrow and we'll be better. Is that about right, or what are you thinking about the Nets?
One word description: lottery.
2025 is supposed to be good, man. Cooper Flag and a whole bunch of other guys are coming out, so they're pushing their chips to the 2025 lottery. It looks like.
Yes. Oh.
All right. So, fans, when we get back in segment 3, all about the W and some All-Star versus Olympic talk. We'll be right back on the Ad Coaches Podcast.
The reviews are in for Dr. Keith Adams' book, Finding the Balance, My Personal Journey to Academic and Athletic Success. College professor and student athlete academic expert Dr. Lisa Rubin said, "There is nothing out there like this book, so I do hope people will pay attention and give it a read." Former George Mason standout Folarin Campbell said, "Consider this book an opportunity to work directly with Dr. Adams, just like I did. I assure you that there will be something you can take away that will be useful to you throughout your personal journey." Ryan Waite, a recent college graduate who is a software engineer, said, "I like how the book is based on research, which makes it good for general students as well as student athletes." The book serves as both a memoir to Dr. Adams' 30-year academic and athletic career, as well as an instructional guide to assist student athletes, parents, coaches, teachers, and administrators navigate through the challenges of finding a better balance between academic and athletic success. The book includes over 15 personal stories and anecdotes from Dr. Adams, along with numerous former players and colleagues from a variety of sports and endeavors. You can order your copy at www.ckasaveproject.org. From the main page, simply click CKA Save Project Services and order the Find the Balance book. For more information, contact Dr. Keith Adams by email at cka@ckasaveproject.org.
Welcome back to the Odd Coaches Podcast in segment 3, WNBA news and notes. Power rankings: 1, New York; 2, Connecticut; 3, the in-season tournament Commissioner Cup champion Minnesota; 4, Seattle; 5, Vegas; 6, Phoenix; 7, Atlanta; 8, Chicago. A lot of double-doubles in Chicago. 9, Indiana. They're winning a little more. 10, the Mystics have turned it around. 11, the Sparks, and 12 is Dallas. Who's hot? New York, except yesterday when they lost to Indiana, I believe. And who's not? LA and Dallas. Story of the week, and I'm going with Robert with this. Robert, they might play for real. The 2024 WNBA All-Star rosters have been released. It's going to be Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese as All-Stars for the first time. Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese being in the league has popped All-Star game voting. They're going against Team USA, but we do have an injury with Naphesia Collier with a plantar fasciitis injury. Robert, we're not overly fans of All-Star games, but has the WNBA done enough to make you interested in their All-Star game?
I'm still not going to watch, but, Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese, they could make it interesting coming in with a little chip on their shoulder. Because both of them, I understand why both of them were left off the Olympic team, and you could get into a whole conversation,
and we did,
and we have about whether they should have been on the team and missed opportunity for the WNBA. Sure, but USA Basketball picks the Olympic team, and USA Basketball said you got to come to camp, and neither of them went to camp. So they didn't get picked, which, okay, is it a missed opportunity? Yes, I think it is, but that's irrelevant. Angel Reese has been a double-double machine. Every game, double-double. Caitlin Clark had the first triple-double by a rookie in the history of the NBA against New York on Saturday and has played better. And the Fever have played better almost every game. They have gotten incrementally better. So if Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese come in and decide that they want to make things interesting for the Olympic team, I think they're capable of doing that. And that probably will be the toughest game that the Olympic team is going to have between now and the end of the Olympics. That's what I think.
George, what about you? Did the WNBA do enough to make you interested in watching the All-Stars go against Team USA?
Yeah, I'm gonna take a look at it. It's not it's not on my watch list, but I will want to I will want to take a peek to see how Reese and Caitlin Clark do. And I think it will. What Robert said is right. I think they're probably going to come in. Both of them going to have something to prove. I think seeing Reese's reaction on how excited she was to make the All-Star team, and you're going to have Clark is going to fuel both of them. They'll be like, okay, now we're going to, because this is their year to show we belong. So what better way to show we belong than go ahead and put some work in on the Olympic team, who's supposed to be the best of the best. So, yes, it will be something I'll probably turn on for a little while in between that and the home run derby and stuff. So, but we'll check it out.
Well, I'm actually locked into this one. My mentor, Hank Alada, said whenever you're doing evaluations of talent going from one level to the next, there's a couple of stats that really transition fairly well in terms of your evaluation. And I didn't apply this theory, and that's my fault. And he said rebounding's one. If you can rebound in high school, you're going to be able to rebound in college. If you're able to rebound in college, you're going to be able to rebound in the next level. And if you can get 3 to 4 offensive rebounds, then you can average a double-double because you're going to finish that off, shoot 75% from the free throw line, and yeah, I want that person. That's exactly what Angel Reese is doing. They're not running a lot for her, but if you can go get the ball, put it back in, get some fouls and stuff, there's your double-double. So I'm looking forward to seeing them compete against Team USA because I'm sure Team USA is tired of hearing about who should have been on the teams anyway. So that should be interesting for me. Let's talk about NBA Summer League now. The California Classic is going on, and it will be concluding by the time this episode comes on. You've seen LeBron James Jr., little Bronny play. You've seen Dalton Connect miss some shots. Again, it's just kind of getting used to the speed of basketball. Note for Bronny, please don't say that the college game is faster than the pro game whenever you have that interview. Please just skip that, okay? The Salt Lake City Summer League starts this week as well. But the primary Summer League, and again, I'm putting this out there to the universe, OCP, let's get to Vegas Summer League next year when all these good players are supposed to come in. So the primary Vegas Summer League is July 12th through 22nd. I watch a lot of Summer League basketball just for the talent evaluating purposes. The WNBA All-Star Weekend is July 18th through the 20th, and the Summer Olympics, July 27th through August 11th. So again, going back to George, what are we looking forward to, George? Is it the NBA Summer League? Is it the WNBA All-Star Game? Or is it the Olympics? Have I convinced you otherwise?
I'm the 12th. I'm gonna be watching the All-Star baseball All-Star game and the home run derby. But outside of those, I'm interested to see all of them. I think the Summer League in Vegas is going to be a moot point for me because I didn't have a whole lot of background with a lot of these kids coming in. So I'm probably not. That's going to hold up my attention the least amount right there. I'm going to be. Like I said, I'm going to check in. I want to see that WNBA All-Star game. Because one great thing about it, you've seen Reese mature over this season because she started adding in her little mid-range game. She did that the other night. She have 27 and 10 the other night. So I can see her to where, and I have to give you credit there, Dr. Adams, for retracting your statements before that you said to me that all she's going to be able to do is rebound in the league. So I gave you that. You get thumbs up for that one.
The Godfather is still talking to me, even though he's not here. The Godfather said that, George. He said, "Hey, if you can rebound, we're going to find a spot for you." And I'm looking at what they were doing at LSU, and it wasn't very sophisticated.
No.
So I didn't evaluate that one as well as I could have.
Yeah, they're running off that high pick and roll, and
Spoon's coaching, I think that helps having a post player again. As a post player who's a coach, I'm looking at the game differently than that point guard who's calling plays. So I missed that one, and I'm okay with that. Yeah, Spoon is coaching like a post player.
Yeah, she's coming off that high pick and roll and pulling that little mid-range jumper. So it's worked out well. So I'm going to be interested to see what her and Clark do in that game. But and then the Olympics are the Olympics every year. Summer Olympics, it'll be worth watching for a number of aspects. But we'll see how everything goes.
All right, Robert, week after week, I try in vain to convince you on things that I turn your meter to watching any of this stuff.
If I watch any of it, it'll be the Summer League. And I'll, if I turn on the Olympics, basketball's on, I'll watch. I'll watch it. But am I searching?
I want to see France play in the Olympics. I want to see that French team.
Oh yeah.
Am I searching any of this out? No.
All right.
Robert's gonna watch baseball All-Star game, dog. That's where we're gonna be. So
I will not watch the baseball All-Star game either.
And on that note, as the clicking sounds occur, on behalf of our cavalcade of stars, I'm Dr. Keith Adams saying thank you for listening and or watching the Coaches Podcast, and we'll see you on the sidelines. Till next time, take care.
Man.
The Odd Coaches Podcast is sponsored by the CKA Save Project. The CKA Save Project is an industry leader in providing student-athlete academic and athletic support. From assessing student-athletes' academic and athletic skills, to measuring and monitoring student-athlete academic progress, to improving student-athlete time management and organizational skills, the CKA Save Project provides wraparound services for student-athletes from middle school through college. For more information, visit us on the web at www.ckasaveproject.org or schedule a free consultation with Dr. Keith Adams by emailing cka@ckasaveproject.org. We hope you enjoyed today's show. The Odd Coaches podcast drops new episodes every Tuesday through Friday on most weeks. Make sure you subscribe to the Odd Coaches podcast on Apple Music, iHeartRadio, Podbean, Spotify, and YouTube. Follow the Odd Coaches podcast on Twitter and Instagram at Odd Coaches. Follow Dr. Adams on Twitter and Instagram at CKA Save Project. In addition, follow Coach Mike Francis on Twitter and Instagram at Coach Franchise, spelled Coach Franchize. For more information about the CKA Save Project, please visit them on the web at www.ckasaveproject.org. See you next time on the Odd Coaches podcast.